Good morning and welcome to this course on investment analysis and portfolio management. I'm delighted and honored to be with you for this course. I have a long association behind Bangalore. This is the 40th year that I'm teaching at Bangalore. Now I'm a retired professor at the Business faculty. And this is a course which has tried to cover about 50 hours of what I would have normally taught in the regular PGP classes. So you have to bear with me and try to condense vast amounts of material in a relatively short period. Fortunately, the world of investment, few ideas are what really matters. So what we will do in this course is to focus on these ideas and concepts so that you have the enough background to pursue the subject further. These are the questions that we'll try to address. In fact, these are the 10 sessions that I've planned. The course material will be distributed to you very shortly. You have the book with you? Yes. Yes, I'll share all my presentations. Analysis and portfolio management for PGP students. I used material which later transformed itself into this book. It is extensively used by professionals, but I thought if I gave you this book, you'll all run away from this course. I have written a smaller version which is adequate for your purposes. However, if you're interested in learning more about the subject, you can consult this book, and I'll be very happy to give a few copies of this book toward the end of the course, those who secure the first two positions in this class. So here is a small incentive for you to do well. How do various investments compare? How do the securities market function? What are the tools for investment planning? What levers are employed for improving investment performance? How do we analyze debt instruments? How do we select mutual funds? How do we value individual stocks? What can we learn from great masters like Warren Buffett, Peter Lynch, and others? What options are available in the alternative investment space? How should you avoid behavioral traps? The world of investment has become very, very complex and challenging. I'm sure all of you are barraged with all kinds of investment products and advice. I remember when I started investing in 1970, the only mutual fund product available was UTI 1964 scheme. We had no other investment products available, and the Eurasian stock market was considered to be a gambler's game. Today the world has changed enormously. There are 2,000, 3,000 schemes available with various mutual funds, and many people are daunted by the complexity of financial instruments, the fluctuations which drive the market all the time, the presence of mighty financial institutions, the complexities of tax structures. Sometimes they give up and say, this is not for me. And unfortunately, a large number of investors have lost substantial sums of money. By the way, how many of you invest in stock market? Good. How many of you invest through mutual funds? Excellent. How many of you have your own residential house? Fine. So I have a group which has sufficient introduction to this area. We'll try and develop a framework which will help you to manage your wealth for the rest of your lifetime. Now, there are two skills which everyone needs these days: the skill to manage your health and the skill to manage your wealth. We live in a period when our lives have become longer and you want to lead a far more varied life than your predecessors did, and you have to ensure that you enjoy financial security for the rest of your life. The one great secret of investment success is that there is no secret. People ask me what is the magic formula. I say there's no great secret at all. All I can say is that my experience of the last 45 years as an investor, as an academic, as a researcher, has immensely taught me that complex investment strategies simply do not work. No, I don't fall victim to all kinds of temptations that will come your way. You have a variety of financial goals. For someone who has joined a job recently, the first priority is to acquire a car, then to get married, then to buy a house, then to look after children's education, so on and so forth. So you will have a lot of financial goals evolving over your life. And let me ask a very simple question. What is the purpose of portfolio management?
Minimize your risk.
To minimize your risk,
Maximize your return.
maximize your return. Okay. I look at it slightly differently. We all have a variety of financial goals. I listed some goals, and you can add to that list to reflect your idiosyncratic preferences. We all have a variety of financial goals. The purpose of portfolio management is to maximize the probability of achieving your goals without exposing yourself to risks that you are uncomfortable with. In the world of investment, there are no guarantees, there are no warranties. You have to maximize the probability of achieving those goals without exposing yourself to risks that you are uncomfortable with. I listed a variety of goals. As an individual, you have to list what your goals are. When do you want those goals to be fulfilled? What is the investment you require to fulfill those goals, and plan your investment accordingly. There is another way of looking at portfolio management. Build financial strength so that you have greater flexibility in meeting your emerging goals. Your goals will evolve over a period of time. They don't remain stationary. So you say, let me build my financial strength consistently over a period of time so that I have the sinews and resources to meet my evolving goals, or to enable me to expand my goal structure. Let us bear in mind these two broad objectives of portfolio management. How do you improve your financial position, or how do you strengthen your financial position? There are few people who are lucky, they inherit a lot of wealth. We can't count on that. You may have marketing talents. Remember, in the market-oriented economy, some people are rewarded disproportionately for talents they have. Some people may be highly talented. Is it better?
Yeah.
You'll have to bear with me. The world of investment is very, very noisy. Some people have talents which are marketable. Some people have talents which are not marketable. Life treats people very differently. Savings and investment habits. The focus of our course would be to improve your savings and investment habits. Luck plays a very important role. Often luck plays as much a role as skill does. In the world of investment, I find that luck often dominates skill. You don't have any control over your luck. You don't have any control over your genes and inheritance. You will have to make sure that you have the right savings and investment habits. Here is a very important quote by Warren Buffett. The most successful investors are times whose personal wealth is close to $70 billion, and the entire wealth can be attributed to his investment prowess. To invest successfully over a lifetime does not require a stratospheric IQ, unusual business insights, or inside information. What is needed is a sound intellectual framework, making a decision, and the ability to keep emotions from corroding their brain. You require two things: a sound investment framework and a good temperament, or an ability to control your emotions, which often impair and corrode investment performance. This course will provide you with the intellectual framework for making investment decisions, and I hope you will realize the importance of developing good temperament over a period of time. What this course will do precisely will familiarize you with the world of investment, develop a sound framework, sensitize you to the cognitive and behavioral traps which impair investment performance, emphasize quantified investment decisions. I've underlined those three words. The thrust of this course is on ensuring that you are disciplined in a quantified manner whenever you make investment decisions. Since you have an exam which is number oriented, in this course, as we go along, I'll give you a small set of problems to work on, and in the classroom we'll work on some of those problems. Because you have an examination almost immediately after the course is over, I suppose. When is your exam? So I have to make sure that by Friday you are adequately prepared to face the examination on Saturday, and since you have an entire day here, I don't expect you to find much time outside the classroom. So keeping the examination in mind and keeping the need to develop quantified discipline as we go along, I'll give you very small problems to clarify some of those quantitative concepts and also prepare you for the examination which will follow on Saturday. I'll give you a problem set with solutions within the next 15 minutes. You will have to go through them very carefully, and every problem will be worked out in the classroom. At least one example will be worked out in class if you are adequate to that. I'll leave my telephone number if you wish to contact me in the evening to seek clarification. Feel free to do that. I understand in this course you have examination coming Saturday, so don't bother to worry that how can I disturb him at 6 o'clock, it's fine. Okay? I like this quote of Emerson: numbers serve discipline rhetoric. Without them, it's too easy to follow. Flights of fancy to ignore the world as it is and to remodel it near the heart's desire. We have to discipline all our financial thinking by using numbers. Otherwise, we can believe that this company will go to 3,000, 5,000, create all kinds of stories which will lead you to erroneous investment decisions. I have seen many investors burning their fingers. They make all kinds of wrong investments. Targeted investments. You may have a financial advisor, you may have an investment advisor, but you are ultimately responsible for taking charge of the investment. Just the way you have this final responsibility to look after your wealth, even those you may be able to consult a lot of financial advisors. You are finally responsible for managing your health, so you have catch it. There's a very fascinating book written by John Burgley, who is a doyen in the investment industry, called Clash of Cultures. The book essentially says that there is a conflict of interest between investors and financial services industry. And there's a deep conflict. I've been part of the financial services industry, and I know that financial services industry is primarily interested in maximizing its profits. They're not interested in promoting the welfare of investors. LIC has been aggressively selling ULIPs, which are financially very, very dangerous. Most of the brokerage houses encourage people to trade actively daily, and you find the media encouraging and prodding people to trade from morning to evening. If you look at the financial media, the bulk of it is dominated by trading advice, asking you to buy at this price, sell at this price, stop loss. You know, this is what you hear all the time. Who benefits from so much of advice being proffered freely to investors? The primary beneficiaries are stockbrokers and financial intermediaries. The primary losers are relative investors. There is a clash of interests. And most experts offer biased advice. That being part of this industry, they have a motivation to offer you biased advice. And most experts have no clue whatsoever as to what will happen to the market. You'll find people offering forecasts all the time. If you look at the track record of these forecasters, it is worse than flipping a coin. And I am saying that on the basis of extensive empirical investigation over 5 decades. Forecasting is a worthless exercise, but we engage in from morning to evening, and a lot of experts come and say Sensex will go to 30,000, Sensex will go to 32,000. Is it? Experts have no clue whatsoever. We live in a world where randomness is.
So, but for this forecasting, don't they use any formula or tools?
Please understand, the stock market behaves like a random walk. How can you predict a random walk? And the best way to predict a random walk is to flip a coin. Is it? No. I'll talk about some of these things later. I've had enough experience with all these forecasters over a period of time. Stock market behaves like a random walk, but human beings suffer from a disease called prediction addiction. We all want prediction, we all want forecast, we all go to astrologers, we all go to numerologists, and we all go to stock market forecasters. We all go to interest rate forecasters. Because of a deep desire on the part of human beings to forecast future all the time, you have a large industry of forecasters which has emerged. Most of them are worthless. I often tell people, if you're really interested in forecasting, I'll give you a simple device. Take a 1 rupee coin and flip it. If it shows head up, say the market will go up. If it shows tail up, say the market will decline. I can assure you, your performance will be as good as the performance of any eminent forecaster that you see on any scale. The law of averages will ensure that you're right 50% of the time. And most of the forecasters do not have a great record in that. Every word I am saying is based on a sense of responsibility. I've been a trustee of mutual funds, I've been on the board of asset management companies, I've been an advisor to some of them, and over a period of time I interacted with hundreds of professionals in India and abroad, and this is what I've learned. Experts are as incapable as you and I are. That is why you have to rely on your wits. You will have to consult advisors to understand new products that are coming, but evaluation will have to be done by you. What I am going to do in this course is to discuss the framework for evaluating various investment opportunities that will come across, without being biased or prejudiced by the advice that you receive from these experts. We can make a distinction between an investor and a speculator. An investor is a person who has a planning horizon of at least 1 year, who has a low to moderate risk disposition, who has a modest risk expectation, who takes decisions based primarily on fundamental analysis, who does not resort to financial leverage and relies largely on own funds. A speculator is a person with a short-term horizon. You want to buy at 11 o'clock in the morning and sell at 12 o'clock. These are short-term traders. The bulk of the trading in the stock market is done by short-term traders or speculators. Everyone wants to make money quickly. They are willing to take a high level of risk and they want to earn a high level of return. They rely primarily on technical tools of analysis, and they also depend on rumor. They can also rely on profit. This course is primarily meant for investors, not speculators. If you have strong speculative tendencies, you can withdraw from the course. In the long run, speculators lose money because they are being sponged by the financial services industry all the time. Be a very passive long-term investor who relies on fundamental analysis and will focus on meeting those goals in the most efficient and psychologically comfortable. You have a wide range of investment arrangements available to you. For the sake of simplicity, I have classified them into 5 broad categories: cash and cash equivalents, debt instruments, stocks, real estate, and others. When I say cash and cash equivalents, I have in mind direct investment in cash and cash equivalents and indirect investment. We can keep our money in the form of cash, or we can put our money in bank deposits. Now you are realizing how much cash is hoarded by India. 15 lakh crore. How unproductive that asset is. Now inconvenient that asset is when you have demonetization. But look at the kind of cash people are holding in this country. The other day someone called me and said, I have 2 crore of cash. I mean, wondering how people hoard so much of cash. But this is India, okay? For most of us, flexi deposits are the ideal having. Today you have this advantage. It was not there 10 years ago. Whatever cash you have as surplus gets transferred to a fixed deposit. And whenever you withdraw, you have that money available. That's a very convenient way of keeping your cash. If you have a slightly longer term horizon, my advice would be to invest in liquid funds or treasury funds or mutual funds. Mutual funds offer a lot of schemes called liquid funds or treasury ones. You can liquidate them in 1 day time. Let us understand what's the purpose of cash. The purpose of cash is to enjoy liquidity and also earn something while you're holding cash. At the same time, you want to make sure that there is no risk whatsoever of principal erosion. The first emphasis on protecting principal. That is why people hoard cash under their mattresses. The first principle is to protect the principal. The second principle is to enjoy liquidity. The third principle is to earn some rate of return. So if you are interested in slightly higher rate of return, but you have to remain invested at least for 3 years, because these schemes are treated very, very heavily from the tax point. I've been holding my cash and cash equivalents primarily in the form of liquid funds, of mutual funds, and flexi deposits. When you don't have good investment opportunities available, this is a kind of default option. But it earns a very low rate of return. On my liquid funds, I have got a post-tax rate of return of 7% or so, which is not very low. It's reasonably attractive. Because if I hold them for over 3 years, I get the benefit of indexation. I get the benefit of long-term capital gains. I'll explain these things in greater detail when we come to mutual fund section. But remember, these are 3 things you have to bear in mind. Safety of principal, liquidity, and return. Debt. These are instruments which have a longer tenure. The most important avenue available in India is provident. How many of you contribute to employee provident fund? How about others? You don't have employee or you're self-employed? Yes? I'm asking how many of you contribute to employee provident fund? Okay. Those who don't contribute have the other option of public provident fund. To my mind, that is the best scheme available as far as debt investment is concerned. You get a tax-free rate of return, you have a tax break. That is a wonderful instrument for building your wealth gradually over a period of time in a riskless manner.
Liquidity is problem.
Liquidity is not there. If you want to enjoy a higher post-tax return over an extended period of time, you have to sacrifice liquidity. There's a trade-off between liquidity, rate of return, and safety. Here you enjoy complete safety, you enjoy a decent rate of return, and you have limited liquidity. You can withdraw partially from time to time within limits, but you don't have the kind of liquidity that you have in a liquid fund or mutual fund.
So now that government is trying to give also liquid markets,
Yes.
so that will induce the risk, right? Market risk.
What is likely to happen is they will put a little money in equity investment, and they realize that if they have to give 8% or close to 8% going forward, they cannot rely entirely on government securities because interest rates are declining. So they will have to expose themselves to equities where in the long run you get a high rate of return. In fact, recently I did a program for EPFO, and that was the thrust of my advice. I said, if you want to ensure that you offer 8% or so in future, you will have to necessarily increase your exposure to equities. We'll come to equities a little later. Good question. For people like me who can't put money in a profit fund, I find tax-free bonds issued by various public sector undertakings very helpful. I've got a lot of them. If you are willing to pay taxes, corporate debentures are a good option, but they don't provide a very high rate of return in the current environment. Some people put money in company deposits, which may offer 12, 13%, but in that it is taxable. And there is a higher element of risk associated with that. If you want to adopt the indirect route, you can invest in debt-oriented schemes, mutual funds. Or you can invest in alternative investment funds. Of course, the ticket size here is 100 lakhs. Or you can invest in debt portfolio management schemes offered by asset management companies where the ticket size is 25 lakhs. I'll describe these schemes as we progress. But there is the other option available to those who want to invest more in debt projects, because you cannot invest beyond a certain point in a provident fund. I put my money in public provident fund. I can't put more than 150,000 rupees a year. Where do I go for other debt instruments? Then I look at those options. Then you have stocks. can spend a lot of time understanding stocks. You can make direct investment in a portfolio of securities that you choose on your own. I would advise most of you who are not exposed to the equity market to start with mutual funds. Don't jump into direct equity investment. It's a hazardous field. How many of you invest in equity-oriented mutual funds? I'm glad that some of you are already investing. That is one avenue that I strongly recommend, and I'll give you a few guidelines. If you have a larger corpus to invest, you can invest in alternative investment funds, but these are funds available to those who are willing to invest a minimum of 25 lakhs in the case of the portfolio management scheme or 100 lakhs in the case of an alternative investment fund. Real estate, you can invest directly, you can invest indirectly, and the first investment that comes to your mind is a residential house, which is a very, very desirable form of investment. It gives you psychological satisfaction, and it's an attractive investment. If you have decided to live in a certain place, but you don't want to construct a house, buy a residential site in a gated community where you enjoy security. Those who have more resources can go for commercial property, farmland. The range of options available is really wide. You will have to take a call as to what you want to invest, where you want to invest. Then you have alternative investments, precious metals and objects, portfolio management services, private equity, venture capital, commodity, hedge funds. If I start listing all those options, I probably will take 2 hours, but the world of investment has become enormously complex and varied. Yes?
You mentioned for real estate investment.
The REITs, it has been introduced recently. There's still some time for them to withdraw. These are known real estate investment trusts. REITs or real estate investment trusts are like mutual fund products. You can put 2 lakhs as you put in a mutual fund and then withdraw whenever you want to. SEBI is finalizing all the guidelines and regulations for offering REITs. They want to make sure that people can participate in real estate investment by investing small sums of money in an instrument very liquid. I'll discuss that when I come to real estate. What are the attributes we look for when we are evaluating investment cost? Return, risk, liquidity, tax shelter, building. These are the 5 criteria that we look at all the time to assess various investment options. How do we measure return? If I look at just 1 year, the total return will be interest, coupon that I received, price at the end, minus price in the beginning, divided by price at the beginning. Whenever I invest in any financial security, the return over 1 year would be dividend or interest income that you get plus price change divided by initial price. We have a measure called return relative, which is the coupon or dividend that you would have received plus the ending price divided by the beginning price. This is 1 plus R. As simple as that. Then you have a cumulative wealth index. If you have invested over a period of n years, what is your wealth index at the end of n years? It will be given by this graph. If I invest in 100 rupees, in the first year I earn a return of 10%, then 100 into 1.10. In the second year I earn a return of 20%, then I multiply it again by 1.20. In the third year I may lose 10%, I multiply it by 0.90. Do you get the point? So I know over a period of time what will happen to this 100 after 10 years. That is known as cumulative wealth index. Then you have the arithmetic return or arithmetic average return. This bar should be above that. You look at the returns over a period of 10 years, add them and divide them by the number of years. And the most important measure is geometric return, 1 plus R1 plus 1 plus R2 plus 1 plus R3. Geometric mean is the most important measure. One plus R1 multiplied by 1 plus R2 multiplied by 1 plus R3 multiplied by 1 plus R8. This gives me the cumulative value, then I raise it to the power of 1 by n and subtract 1. This gives me the geometric average rate of return over a period of time, and that is what really matters, because it is a compound rate of return. Because the geometric rate of return on any investment is say 12%, and you have made an investment of say 1,000 at this point of time, and your investment is made for a period of 20 years, you know that your wealth at the end of 20 years will be Is that clear? This is the most important measure that you should focus on. After all, I have invested 1,000 to meet a goal 20 years away. I have earned a geometric mean rate of return of 12%, so my investment will be worth 1,000 raised to the power of multiplied by 1.12 raised to the power of 20. Is that clear? So these are the measures that we normally focus on. Here is a simple illustration. The stock earns the following returns over a 5-year period. R1 30%, R2 minus 20%, R3 minus 12%, R4 38%, R5 42%. It is 6 years, R6 36%. Calculate the following: arithmetic mean return, cumulative wealth index, and geometric mean return. The calculations are fairly straightforward. Have a look at them. To read clarifications, that will be very helpful. This is what I am saying. Whenever you are looking at any investment, you have to be very careful about what returns are being generated, how you calculate those returns. They are very simple calculations, but they help you to focus on the right measure. Are they clear? Perfect. Look at Nifty. Look at the returns generated by Nifty. All of you are familiar with Nifty. Nifty is that index of 50 large liquid stocks. What kind of returns have been generated by Nifty over a period of time? If I look at the last 25 years, I get a picture like this. What do you find when you look at a table like this? What is the first thing that strikes you when you look at it? Returns are highly volatile over a period of time. Equities have that character. They are highly volatile, highly fluctuating. But over a period of time, they generate a decent rate of return. If I look at the arithmetic mean rate of return, it is 18.62%. Geometric mean is invariably less than the arithmetic mean whenever there is a volatility in the series. Even 14% geometric mean is a very attractive rate of return. And this doesn't capture dividend yield. It only captures the price level. If I am holding a basket of 50 stocks, which appreciates by 13.5%, on that basket I also get dividend yield. And bear in mind, dividend yield used to be quite attractive in 90s, 4%, 5%. Now it has come down to less than 2%. To add that. But of course, there is another countervailing factor, the survivorship bias. Nifty is an index, the composition of which can change over a period of time. New companies are added, old companies are deleted. If you had stayed invested with the old companies, your returns would have been less than this. That is called a survivorship bias. Then you look at standard deviation, which is a measure of risk in finance. The calculation fairly straightforward. I'm sure you learned about standard deviation in a course of statistics. Is it? Achha. Then I'll quickly take you to an example. Let us say these are the returns that we observed from a stock over a period of time. 30, minus 20, minus 12, 38, 42, 36. The average rate of return over a 6-year period is 19%. Okay? Now I ask, what is the deviation of individual return from the average? 30 minus 19, 11. Minus 20, minus 19, minus 39. So in the next column I have shown the deviations of individual return from the arithmetic average. Is that clear? In the next column I have squared these deviations. 11 squared 121, 39 squared 1521. Remember, all squared numbers will be positive. So I have squared all these deviations, I have added all these numbers and I get 3782. So my expected or average return is 19%. Variance is defined in this manner. Summation of all squares of deviation divided by n minus 1. N is the number of observations. N is 6 here, n minus 1 will be 5. This is called as variance. Okay? And the formula for variance is given here. And standard deviation is the square root of variance. Remember, there is a very important number in financial analysis. There are two numbers that we constantly focus on: expected or average return, standard deviation. Are you clear? Whenever we look at any investment revenue, these are two numbers that we invariably calculate. What is the expected return or average return? What is the risk measured in terms of standard deviation? There are two measures of risk widely used in finance: standard deviation and beta. I'll explain beta. Now that you're familiar with these calculations, why don't you do a small problem? As I said, we will work small problems as we go along, partly to clarify any residual doubts that you may have in your mind, and partly to ensure that you're well prepared for the exam. That's all, sir. Yes. Along these. Yes, everything will be clear. In the examination, you're not supposed to remember these formulae by rote. I'll give you the set of formulae. What is required is an ability to think carefully and apply the formula. I'm going to give you some vector problems. Check your answers. If you've not done that, you can quickly pause the method. Fine. As I said, beta is another measure widely used. Are you familiar with capital asset pricing model? Yes. In capital asset pricing model, the expected return of any security is equal to risk-free rate of return plus beta of that security multiplied by market risk premium. If we expect the risk-free rate of return to be 7% and the market rate of return to be 14%, we say market risk premium is 7%. Beta represents the relative volatility of a stock vis-a-vis the market or the board. Here is a very simple illustration. Securities tend to move in tandem. If the market as a whole goes up, most of the securities also go up. Likewise, the market falls, most of the securities fall. But some securities are more volatile vis-a-vis the market, some securities are less volatile vis-a-vis. For example, if the Sensex goes up by 10%, Tata Motors will go by 15%. If the Sensex falls by 10%, Tata Motors will fall by 15%. We find that the 1% swing in Sensex leads to 1.5% swing in Tata Motors. On the other hand, if you look at Hindustan Unilever, it moves up only by 7%, the Sensex goes up by 10%, it falls by 7%, the Sensex falls by 10%. So 1% swing in Sensex causes a 0.7% swing in HUL. So we say beta of Tata Motors 1.5, beta of HUL is 0.7. So if I invest in Tata Motors, I expect a higher rate of return because I am exposed to greater risk. Is that clear? So we measure the risk of any security in terms of standard deviation of rate of return and beta. Yes?
There's a trend to come in that like Sensex goes up, however, Tata Motors in this case, Tata Motors, it's showing a little.
Yeah, it will not happen all the time. I'm talking the average relationship over a period of time. Because you regress the return on Tata Motors over return on market, and you find that the slope that line, that is the average relationship. So you have a wide scatter around.
So is it related to the weightage strategy?
No, not weightage. Tata Motors is a very cyclical business. Hindustan Unilever is a very, very defensive sector. Normally, defensive stock has low beta and cyclical stock has high.
So what I am trying to interpret this one is that if we know the cyclic behavior and we know this percentage falls, if probability start investing at this percentage falls, can we say that the returns would be much higher compared to this?
We'll come to that a little later. Don't jump the gun. For the time you understand basic criteria. But to answer your question, you should not be too enthusiastic about tracking the market. It is a futile exercise lying down. Just a skillful market practice. There is another history of return. Stocks in general provide higher return than bonds. Bonds in general provide higher return than cash. Stocks are more volatile than bonds. Bonds are more volatile than cash. And volatility of return decreases as the history of returns and risk over 100 years in various countries. Cash is cash and cash equivalents. I put my money in a flexi deposit account, I put my money in a liquid fund. I started, yeah, right? Yeah, it's a very, very short term debt instrument. That will be part of bonds. You know, if I am lending on a 5-year basis to someone, it is kind of a loan. It is similar to an FD that I make in account. That will come under bonds. The distinction is any debt instrument with a maturity of less than 1 year is treated as cash. Any debt instrument with a maturity of more than 1 year is treated as a bond. Now, this is the picture that emerged in 2014. Sensex provides return of 14% over 20 years, gold 9%, ULIP 6 to 8%, very widely and aggressively sold. Bank FDs at that time 8.75%. Traditional insurance plans fed the lowest rate of return. Endowment plans, which were sold very aggressively. Real estate, nobody knows. You know, we don't have well-documented data of it. Which is a better measure, arithmetic mean or geometric mean? I would say geometric mean is a better measure of the compound rate of return that you get. Arithmetic mean represents the typical return that you may get in a single year. Yes? Yeah. We have two important measures, arithmetic mean and geometric mean. Geometric mean is a better measure because it gives an idea of the compound rate of return that you earn over a period of time. Arithmetic mean gives you a better idea of the rate of return that you expect in a typical year. If I am interested in the rate of return in just 1 year, arithmetic mean is a better measure. But if I am interested in knowing how my wealth will get compounded over a period of time, geometric mean is the best. They are related in this manner. If you look at the formula on the top, 1 plus geometric mean raised to the power of 2 is almost equal to 1 plus arithmetic mean raised to the power of 2 minus standard deviation squared. That is a relationship. That's why I said arithmetic mean is typically higher than the geometric. Okay. There is a kind of relationship that you expect between return and risk, marketability or liquidity. That is another important consideration. Some assets are highly liquid. If I invest in a plot of land, it will be very difficult for me to sell. I know many people who are struggling to last 5-6 months to sell something. Whereas your liquid scheme is the most liquid. How do we assess marketability? Debt, breadth, and receipt. Are they enough buy or sell orders around the current market price? CNP is current market price. If I observe the market price of Infosys to be 960, are there enough buy or sell orders around the current market price? Infosys is a highly liquid stock, so you will be able to find a lot of buy and sell. Then, are there sufficient volumes being traded around that point? And resilience. If new orders arrive, how will the price respond to those new orders? So we measure marketability or liquidity in terms of debt, breadth, and resilience. Tax aspects are also important from a tax point of view. We have these broad heads of income, income from salaries, income from house property, profits and gains from business or profession, capital gain, income from other sources, dividends, interest. The items which will matter for our purposes are income from house property, which I discussed, when we talk of investment in real estate. Income by way of capital gain, it will discuss when we talk of stocks and mutual funds. And we look at how dividend and interest income from various sources are treated. So I'll talk about the tax aspects of various investments as we go along. At this juncture, bear in mind a broad framework of taxation. Is that clear? Convenience is very important. Ease of investing, ease of holding, ease of selling. There are three things that come to my mind when I talk of convenience. How easy is it to acquire an asset? How easy is it to invest? It's very easy to invest in stocks. You sit on your terminal, click at your button, and you're done. Extremely convenient. Try and buy land, particularly agricultural land, and you realize it's being inconvenient. It can take months, a lot of mitigation, whatever. Ease of holding. It's very easy to hold financial assets like fixed deposits, mutual funds, projects, equity stocks. Very convenient. But if you have a couple of residential properties, it's very, very convenient to manage all. And ease of sell. So from the point of view of convenience, financial assets are far more desirable than real assets, particularly real estate. If I had to give you a very broad picture in this picture, it would be something like this. Return, by return I mean return after taxes. So, risk and convenience. Cash provides low rate of return. It has nil risk associated with it. It has high convenience associated with it. Unless you have a demonetization. The other day someone came to me and said, I will do 50,000 of cash for my expenses. You know, this always happens the first week of November, people will do cash for meeting household expenses. Why do you withdraw? Because it's so convenient to give salaries to your helpers and so on. Anyway, risk, bonds, dividend return, low risk, high risk. Stock insurance provides, in the long run, high rate of return. The quick sell by higher risk, you will see that. Convenience is very high. Real estate in India in general has provided decent rates of return. Risk has been relatively low. Unlike stock, which fluctuates a great deal, real estate prices don't fluctuate so much. The convenience is very, very low. So you have to get that. As I said right in the beginning, when you make investment decisions, you have to ensure that you earn an adequate rate of return to meet your investment goals, but you also find it psychologically comfortable to hold those investments. There's nothing right or wrong here. You may be comfortable holding your entire investment in bank deposits. I come across people who say, we are not interested in anything else. They want to make FDs in the bank. They are perfectly safe. We have been doing it for centuries. They're not interested in any other asset. And the return that they get meets the requirements of a lifestyle. Perfectly fine. At the same time, you come across someone who says, I want to play in derivatives every day. It gives me a lot of thrill and joy, and I can prove to others that I'm a great investor. I can earn a return of 40% over 1 week. Here is a very different investor. All of us are made differently. So make sure that whatever investments you make serve your goals, build your financial strength, and make you comfortable and happy. Don't obsess with your investment. Life offers so many wonderful things. you're obsessed with your investments all the time, you're depriving yourself, denying yourself all those wonderful pleasures. I'll come to this a little later. Here I want to say how stupid individual investors tend to be. This is a very interesting study done by Shankar Day and others at the Indian School of Business. They looked at the trading data of 1 million retail investors from January 2005 to June 2006. And during that period, these investors made 104 billion trades worth 37 lakh crores. Retail investors consistently chase a zero return when they decide by themselves. Most of them were speculators, short-term traders, and I come across a lot of them who are so obsessed with short-term trading because they think that they can make a lot of money. It's so enticing, so tempting, so captivating. And you see your immediate neighbor make money, you also want to make money. We're driven by all kinds of emotions, fear, greed, envy, boredom. Someone came to me the other day, he said that I'm bored of doing everything else, so I want to play in the stock market. So he's not playing the stock market game to improve your rate of return, but he's playing the stock market game to relieve his boredom. The other day someone came to me, he said he bought 1,000 shares of a company. I said, what prompted you to buy that share? As a student of finance, the first question is, he said, my neighbor bought those shares 6 months down the road, he made 100% gain, so I bought. I said, you're driven by envy, bought these shares and someone has already enjoyed appreciation of 100%. So the primary motivation is envy. You bought at the wrong time. I said, he bought at the right time and you bought at the wrong time. Yes?
So, sir, third point is chase a zero return. So, is that an average zero return? Maybe.
No, what I am saying is this is the experience of retail investors who have speculated heavily on the stock market during that period. They wanted to understand what is the rate of return retail investors who actively trade have earned. And there is the largest study of its kind in the world, gathering information on 1 million retail investors. NSE data is available now. I am just trying to say how investors lose money when they fall victim to speculative tendencies. The bulk of the trading on Indian stock exchange is speculative trading.
What I'm trying to understand, does it also mean that it's an average zero return?
No. What I am saying is that traders and speculators are chasing a zero-sum game. Long-term investors are chasing a positive sum game. I started by saying this session is meant for investors, not speculators. And I said if you have speculative tendencies, please leave the class. Now I am supporting my argument with an empirical piece of evidence to ensure that none of you leave the class. Do you get the point? This is a very, very fascinating statement by Daniel Kahneman. He is the most eminent cognitive psychologist in the world. And interestingly, Daniel Kahneman got a Nobel Prize in economics. He is a psychologist. His contributions have been so profound. Then what he says, what's really quite remarkable in the investment world is that people are playing a game which in some sense cannot be played. There are so many people out there in the market and the idea that any single individual, without extra information or extra market power, can beat the market is extraordinarily unlikely. Yet, this market is full of people who think they can do it and full of other people who believe it. This is one of the great mysteries of finance. Why do people believe they can do the impossible, and why do other people believe? As I said, financial investment industry or financial services industry will offer you with all kinds of products, saying that these products will deliver superior return at low risk. Thousands of people offer those products, and millions of people buy that advice. To him, it is the greatest mystery of finance. I'm sure you what you may say. Please avoid being tempted by all kinds of products that come your way, all kinds of topics that you reject out. Today, a main problem for anyone is to filter out. If you look at your email, if you look at all the devices that you have that connect you with external world, they're flooded with advice. You have to stay away from the noise, focus on a few basic needs. Is that clear? As I said, the enemy lies within us. We are impatient. We do not have the patience to build a portfolio over a period of time. We do not have patience to build our financial strength over a period of time. We want to generate big returns in short term. What happened with the global financial crisis? A manifestation of this phenomenon. Everyone wanted to make quick money by selling all kinds of complex securities. Where has it led the world into? We are overconfident. We believe that we have understood a stock, we can evaluate companies, we can assess securities far better than others. We chase trends. We are vulnerable to greed. We are overwhelmed by fear. We are driven by envy. We are influenced by hurt instincts, we have unrealistic expectations, and we have wrong attitude towards profit and loss. The enemy lies within us. The only way that I know is to discipline or check the corrosive emotions that impair our performance by ensuring you do basic calculations by following a few set of rules consistently over a period of time. They're not complex, they're commonsensical rules, and during this course I would have discussed them sufficiently. And I am saying that repeatedly because I have tried everything 45 years to identify that a few rules are the ones that make sense. Everything else is chimera. Everything else is mirage. But we are impatient, we are interested in relieving our boredom. That is how life goes on. Okay? These are books that you should read over a period of time if you want to become a better investor. As I said, Daniel Kahneman, Nobel Prize winners, made enormous contributions to the bearing of finance and economics. In this book, Thinking Fast and Slow is probably the best book that I have read in the last 10 years. Nassim Taleb, Fooled by Randomness, Jason Dwight, Your Money and Your Brain, Benjamin Graham's Intelligent Investor, which Warren Buffett regards as the best book on investment ever written by anyone in the history of mankind. And if you're interested in a book that focuses more on the Indian investment environment, this is the one I talk about. We'll break for tea. Come back. Any questions? Oh. Did you get the other note? The second longer, no, this is 4,000.